2015 higher level question 5, and it's the transformation geometry question. So just looking at the question firstly, so we're going to be asked to do axial symmetry, central symmetry, translation, and then a rotation clockwise through 120 degrees. So just to get yourself started, what I would do is I try write in which it's from. I know in some of the recent years they're given P1 to P2, but in this question in 2015 we're not. So the first one, axial symmetry, is going to be from P to P1, and then from P1 to P2 is going to be central symmetry. The translation is going to be from P2 to P3, and then the rotation part is going to be from P3 to P4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the question. I'm just going to start it as close to the left hand side as possible with the little stick man or the little figure we're given. Yeah, and about 3/4 of the way up the page should give us plenty, because this P3 over here isn't too high, and it's from P2 to P3 is a translation. So it shouldn't be too high, so it should be okay. And then the rotation, the bottom right corner. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to put in all the positionings of the P's first, just to make sure they're fitting on the page before I go ahead. Okay, so 2015 higher level junior cert question 5, transformation geometry. Okay, so the width of our figure is 30, so I'm going to come in about 40 anyway, give myself plenty of space. So I come in about 40 from that. No, I won't come in 50 just to be on the safe side. So that's going to be, our P is going to be along that line, and we'll say pop it, that's the bottom, it's 40, yeah, so about there. So that's P, and then we're told P1 is 15 over, so I always measure along a line, I don't measure along thin air. So 15 over, and I just do, it's vertically below, isn't it? So, and we're told it's 40 below if you look on the right hand side. So I just put 60 there and then measure down to 20. So that's P1. It's 40 down, 15. Alright, that's P1. And P2 is 100 across. So I'll just measure across a line first of all, and then measure 100 along that. And then vertically below that P1 it's 30, so again I'll draw a line and then measure along that line. So there's 30, and that's P2. While we're here, P4, we're actually told where P4 is, so I'll just measure along and find out. So it's on the same horizontal line as P2. And I'll actually, do you know what, measure over here at 85 is for P3 is vertically above there if you look at the question. And then from that it's another 20 across for P4, so I'll just find that while I'm here. 20, so there's P4. And then find P3, it's vertically above this. And it's actually 20 above our starting P. So from there, it's 20 above. So there you have it, that is P3. Okay, so that's all our points found. We're going to go ahead and start drawing now. So back to our P, we're going to start drawing our little man now. So just draw this box that he's in. So it's 30 wide. There's 3 boxes, so obviously they're 10 mil each. and the height of them, it's 40 high, and there's 4 of them, so obviously it's 10 meter each as well. So go ahead and draw those boxes as well to help you find the man. Okay, so that's our box. Our box is drawn. So we can go ahead and try and make the outline of our. What is this? So just so the logo. It's a logo, right? Make sure you guys can see all that now. So try to be as accurate as possible with your first one, especially because that's going to carry on for the rest of them. So sharp pencil is very important, as always. So anything I have in black is heavy, and anything in red is construction. Okay. So that's his head, and then the left hand side as well. Okay, so that's our little man drawn, and we're going to go ahead and do our first one, which is axial symmetry, and it's from P to P1. So with axial symmetry, we need to join P to P1, and we need to find our axis that we're going to bring everything through. So to do that, you need to extend your compass greater than halfway. So basically we're trying to bisect P to P1, and the bisector itself is actually our axis. So that line there is actually our axis. I'm actually going to put it in heavy because it's an important line. Alright, so that's actually the axis we're going to use. So what I did was I bisected P to P1, and the bisector is our axis. Now, axial symmetry, you need to bring everything perpendicular to the axis and then rotate them like a mirror image around. So P to P1 is already brought for us. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to set up a line which is parallel to P to P1, and that's also going to be perpendicular to our axis, and it's going to bring our important points through. So I bring his head through. What would be the quickest way here now? There, we bring all the important points through and just join the dots. Okay, I'm just thinking it might actually be quicker and easier if we brought the box around and then tried to draw a little stick man within that box. So I'll just see how this goes first by bringing all the points individually. So no harm if we actually if we actually label these points. So A, B, C, D, P is already given first. D, E, F, already bringing, and then we'll say G, and then the center, I'm going to call that H, and then C goes to H to I. Right, so they're the main points I'm going to bring through. So A, so extend back to A, B, so A joins to B, so try to be nice and accurate with your compass when you're doing this. There's B, C, right. So extend your compass back. A, B, C, D, D, and then. Okay, so it's like a mirror image. So this is E, I. So I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. I, G. So it's very important to label them to help you locate the points then. So there's F. And then last but not least, the center, which is H. So then I just label our points. There's A, B, this is C, D, we didn't bring E, G, there's I, H, and there's F. So I want to bring E as well. Okay, and then it's just a matter of joining the dots. So looking back at our image, A joins to B, B to or A to C, B joins to G, and then it's cut off, but E to D. So just join as much as you can. E to D, D goes to P. So make sure we have the same line. P to F. So it should be parallel as well. F goes to G. And G goes all the way up to H. But it stopped off. So I'm going to draw. Our C goes to I as well, doesn't it? E to C is important. B to G, but it's stopped. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's the legs drawn, and I'm just going to put in his head. So it'll always be the same radius for his head, that won't change. So it's a radius of 10 mils, so it's H to I. Okay, so that's his head, so that wasn't too bad. And then G to H, and it stops just at the end of his head, so this is his neck. And there you have it. Alright, so that's the first one drawn. Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy with that. That wasn't too long. So we're going to continue with that technique. Right, so that's P to P1, P2, or P1 to P2 then is through central symmetry. Okay, so first things first, you want to join P to P1. Or P1 to P2, should I say. And similar to finding axial symmetry, you're going to bisect again, so extend your compass greater than halfway, scribe an arc either side of the line, and do the exact same from the other side. And you want to join those again. So we're bisecting the line, and where that bisector meets the center, that's your point of inflection. Okay, so that's your center of symmetry as such. So we're going to bring all the points through that important point there. So to just go through what I did there. So central symmetry, we're joining P1 to P2, bisecting that line, and where the bisector intersects P1 to P2, that is the center of symmetry. Okay, so that little point there, we're going to bring all our important points through. Alright, very simple. So, and we're going to do the exact same as we did with the axis and taking that distance A was, and then rotating around, but it's the same from the point. Excuse me. So you want to bring all the points through that center of symmetry. So nice and light with a sharp pencil. A sharp pencil is very important here because there's a lot of points going to become in contact with each other, and it can get very messy. So you'll see how important labeling actually is for us, because it's going to help us locate these points again. So E and B are actually on the same line, so that helps. F and P is already brought through for us. G we brought through. H, which is the center of his head, we'll bring that through. And I, okay, so we're gonna go and so P is already found, so D, I didn't bring D yet, that'd be handy. Okay, so I'm going to try to label these as I'm going along as well, because there's going to be a lot of points. So back to D. And then, where's D? So this is why a sharp pencil was extremely important. So there's D. And I'm going to label it as I go along because it's going to get very messy. So there's D. B. A. C. G. What didn't we bring through yet? E. It's on the same line as B. Then F, and F, no. So F is just below D. So there's our F. What are we missing? H and I. So there's H. And then I is on top of that line. Sorry. There's I. Okay, so that's all our points brought through. And we're just going to go on join the dots now. So A to B. And that line should be on the same. Yeah, A to B and P to D should be all parallel. There's A to B and then P to D. A goes to C. B to G, but it's going to be cut off by E to C. So you can actually draw it. So there's B to G. Actually draw that. And P1 goes to F. Or P2, sorry. To F. E goes to D, and that's parallel. So I'm going to try to keep that parallel if I can, just for accuracy. Okay, and then F to G. And then G extends on to H, but it has his head. C to I. So we're actually making good ground here. Right, and then just his head is left. And has the same radius, so I'm going to take it again from the first one. So there's his head, and then just join G up to it. Okay, so this is why labeling was so important. There's no way you'd get through this question in a half decent time without actually using labeling. Okay, moving on. So P2 to P3, we're told, is translation. Okay, very good. The easiest one of them all. So what you're going to do is you're going to join P2 to P3. Okay, and that distance we brought P2 to P3 is the distance we're going to have set in our compass for all of these points. You want to bring them all parallel to that line that we just drew. So again, sharp pencil, extremely important. Excuse me now. So you're basically redrawing the image, just moving it. And the H and I are on the same line. Lovely. Right, so there's P3 now. So we're bringing everything that distance. So P1, P2 to P3, that distance, there's D. B is the next line down. And then A. F. E. So every point is being moved the same distance. There's no axes, there's no center of symmetry. Every point is just being moved the same distance. So it's one of the easier questions. Or the easier ones on the question. What did we move yet? So there's G, C, E, F. Okay, so that's all the points brought through. Lovely. So it's the exact same image. So I'll try to label them for you first quickly. So there's D. B, A, C, I, H, G, F, and E. Okay. So again, D, the base of his legs, try to keep them parallel. And then A to C. And then our lines here are parallel, aren't they? E goes to C the whole way. And B to G, but it's cut off again. And F to G, sorry, so that's parallel. So let's keep that parallel, sliding set squares again. Okay, so we're looking fairly accurate at the moment, so I'm happy with that. And then C to I. And then just draw his head again. So everything should be the same size the whole way through your question. Sorry. Actually not happy with that. Okay, looks better. And then the last bit of his neck. Right, moving on. So that's our translation done. So the object is just moved the same distance P2 to P3 is. Okay, so that's our translation done. It's one of the easier ones of the whole lot of them. Now, on to the rotation part. Now, this would be deemed as the more difficult of all the transformations. So, the question we're told, rotation clockwise, very important, through 120 degrees. Okay, so if we're looking at our question here, so I'll just do a quick little sketch. So given P3 and P4 is down below it. So I'll just do it up here. So we're given P3 and our P4 is down below it. Okay, so there you can see it there. Okay, so P3 to P4. We're told the object is being moved in a clockwise direction. So everyone knows clockwise is that direction. Okay, so think of a clock, there's 12, 1, 2, 3. That's clockwise, so it's moving in that kind of a direction. Okay, so clockwise. So in order for my points to be rotated in a clockwise direction, my compass will have to be on the left hand side. So think about it with your fingers even. If this is the sharp point of the compass, to rotate the points down around that way, it'll be clockwise. Whereas if I was to put my compass on the right hand side there and rotate P3 down, I'd be moving in an anti-clockwise direction. I'd be going against the numbers on the clock. Whereas because of the sharp point of my compass over here on the left hand side, the points are being rotated in a clockwise direction. Okay, so that's a little way to remember it. Now, that's our clockwise. So then what we're after figuring out there is that the sharp point of our compass needs to be on the left hand side in order for the points to be brought down around clockwise. Very important. Right, now, to locate the center of rotation. Okay, the center of rotation. So we're told each point is being moved clockwise through 120 degrees. 120 degrees. So, if this is point P3, again, and this is P4, we've already figured out we want our points to be able to rotate like that way, down that way. Okay, so that's our clockwise direction. So you want to think of it as almost like an ice cream cone. So that's the ice cream at the top, alright? And then we need to find the very bottom of our cone. So we're told they need to be rotated at 120 degrees. So the angle here of the rotation needs to be 120 degrees. Okay, so in order to find that point, we know that all the angles in a triangle add up to, well done, 180. So if we take 120 away from 180, we're left with 60. Okay, so what that means is both this angle here and this angle here must add up to 60. 60 divided by 2 is 30. 30 and 30 is 60 plus 120 gets us our 180. So what we're going to have to do is come off at 30 degrees. We're going to have to create an angle of 30 degrees here and come off from P3 and from P4, and where they both meet is going to be our center rotation. So that's how we're going to go ahead and find that. So back to the question itself. Joining P3 to P4. Okay, so we've done that in every point so far. We've joined the points. Join P3 to P4. So what we found there is this line. Lovely. Now we're going to find this point. Now I already spoke to you about this, the 30 degrees. So it's not just 30 degrees on our set square. You have to get your protractor and set it up using P3 as our center, 30 degrees. So there's 30 degrees, and you need to do the same from P4. So set up your protractor so that it's set up on the joining line of P3 to P4, and again 30 degrees. And then off from P4 at 30 degrees. Sorry, I should have heavier feet. So that's 30 degrees there. And here's my point from my P3. So that there is also 30 degrees. So that leaves me with that there being 120 degrees. So that point there is my center of rotation. So now we have found both this line and this line, and evidently we've found our center of rotation. So that's a very important point. What we need to do then is rotate all these points about 120 degrees. So point P3 is done already for us to P4. So I'm going to show you how to do D. So joining, I'll use a different color. So join, I'll actually use blue. I won't, it's too close to the black. Right. Cool, I'm going to use green and hopefully you can see it. So joining D. So I've joined D. So I'm actually going to try to zoom in on this part for you. It's very important. Alright, so you can see it a bit clearer now. You can see our sketch as well. Okay, so joining. There we go. That's good. So we just joined D to the center rotation, and I want to get 120 degrees on that. So using the center rotation, D, join it to the center, which we've done, and then extend out. There's 120, and back to the center rotation, join to that 120, back to using our compass. So extend your compass from the center rotation back to D and around. Okay, so it's in a clockwise direction. And there's point D there. Okay, so there's D. And you need to do the exact same for all the points. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So that's D. I'm going to try and find B now. So join it to the center. Compass on that line we just drew to sorry, B, yeah. Center on the center rotation. Where's 120? There's 10. There's 120. Extend that out. Back to our center rotation. Find B. There it is there. And you can rotate it around. And here it hits our line. There, so that's B. So that's another point found. Okay, so speed things up. I'm just going to rotate every point down first, and then we can do the 120 degrees. So there's A, F. So rotating everything down, and then we're going to find 120 degrees. So C as well. A, G. And H and I then lastly. So we're nearly there. H and then I. Okay, good stuff. So now to go ahead and find the rest of our points. So we found A, now I'm going to find A, so or we found B, so now I'm going to find A. So join A to the center of center of rotation. Using our protractor then to get 120 degrees set up. So using that point there, from our center of rotation, come out through that little point we just found. And there's our center, there's our rotation of A. So there's A there. So we've actually found the base of the image. Okay, so we're going well. So I'm going to find F, so join F to the center. Excuse me. Join F to the center. Bring in our protractor. Extend it to F. Yeah, that goes to F, lovely. And then find G. So we've already, do you know what? G and F are on the same, aren't they? No, they're not. So I'm going to have to do that. So there's G, they're very similar though. There's G. And here's 120. So again, just to reiterate how important a sharp pencil is, G is there, F joins to G. And what else have we? D goes to F, A goes to C, nothing else joins to G. Lovely, so A joins to C. We're going to find C now. So I need to join C back to our center of rotation. Protractor. Using C to the center rotation as our base. Down here, find 120. There it is from our center. Extend out. Find our point C. There's our C. And we know A goes to C, so you can join that up. Okay, lovely. So what else goes to C? Point E, we don't have it yet. I'll find it now. Do we be yet? Nope. So there's E. Join it to the center. Use my protractor again, using the base from the center to E. 120 degrees. Just there. Okay, which line was it now? Is the next thing? This one here, wasn't it? Yeah, so there's your E. Okay, after losing the set square. Where's that gone? Sorry about that. Lost my set square. And right, so they need to be parallel. So I'm gonna make sure I'm a bit more accurate with that. So finding point. What are we looking for again? C or E, isn't it? E, 120 degrees. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, so that's it. E, B joins to G, just cut off by E to C. There we go. Right, we're nearly there. Okay, so C goes on to I, so I want to try find, or what we'll do, yeah, we'll find I. So join it back to the center. Use that as my center for my protractor. $120, just there. And just extend that on. And there's I, because it's the furthest one out. And then H, which is our center of his head, so that's very important. C goes to I. Should be parallel. I'm not happy with that. Draw his head first and see how we get on. Okay, and then G goes to that H as well, yeah. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, job done. So that's the rotation part. So, just looking back at the overall question, it took a while to go through with G, but that's no harm. We took our time to get it right. Yeah, so that's the 2015, and it's the higher level question 5, and it's transformation geometry. Okay, so thanks for watching.